Oklahoma's newest lawmakers wants to ban most cities in our state from doing things to help the homeless, like opening a shelter. News 4's Spencer Humphrey picks it up from here. Spencer, what's up with this?
Abject and unabashed cruelty.
Yeah, well, Kevin, not only would that bill stop most cities in our state from running homeless shelters and outreach, it would also force them to close down and stop any they currently have.
What could possibly be the justification for this?
The bill is brief and to the point. It makes clear, if passed, it would be illegal for all but 2 cities in Oklahoma to run homeless shelters or homeless outreach. That's because the proposed law would ban all cities in Oklahoma with populations below 300,000 from owning or leasing land for the purpose of building or maintaining a homeless shelter.
I think we're going to need to hear from the MAG evangelists out there on this, because this is beyond fucking sinister. I want to hear exactly what book of the Bible this comes out of.
And it says if a city already has a shelter or provides homeless services, they'd have to immediately terminate them.
Once again, proving that the only thing Republicans know how to do is kick people out into the fucking streets and take the last little bit of anything they might have that would give them a little bit of fucking hope.
Now, this wouldn't apply to churches or any other privately run shelters or programs, but it would mean only 2 cities, Oklahoma City and Tulsa, would be legally allowed to put their own city resources toward helping the homeless.
I think we're going to have to start revisiting what the term legal means.
An idea that former state senator and pastor George Young just can't wrap his head around.
I can imagine why a piece of legislation of that nature would even be brought up.
He says as a pastor, he can't square this with the Bible's teachings to help the needy and love thy neighbor.
I can't help you. If you're trying to help get me to give you some logic behind a piece of legislation like that.
It's not the first time he's seen lawmakers try to address the homelessness issue in a way Young finds questionable. Last April, Governor Stitt signed into law a bill that made it a crime to camp along a public right-of-way. In 2023, the city of Shawnee passed an ordinance that made it a crime to sit or lie down on public sidewalks.
What the fuck are they supposed to do? The system that assholes like them designed to keep them poor is the reason they're out there in the first place. So just by the mere happenstance of just existing on this fucking planet, they have made existing on this planet fucking illegal. You are no longer allowed to exist on the fucking planet unless you're rich.
It has been something that has been used as a kind of a political football to kick around and to use to say, you know what, people ought to do people ought to do better and leave it at that instead of trying to help them. Many people are trying to do better.
We reached out to the author of this latest bill, newly elected Senator Lisa Standridge from Norman. She didn't respond.
Lisa Standridge is a pharmacist who stocked hydroxychloroquine in her pharmacy during the COVID pandemic. So clearly she's perfectly mentally stable.
As for Young, beyond his moral objections, he just can't see how banning smaller cities from opening shelters would do anything but make the problems worse.
Yeah, motherfucker.
People dying on the streets because of the environment, because of the weather. People who are left in rural areas or areas outside major cities trying to get to a place where they could receive some, at least shelter and some food and some warmth. And I'm not taking it back, dying. And that's not who we are. That's not who we want to be.
That's who the Republicans want to be.
And we also reached out to the Homeless Alliance here in Oklahoma City. In a statement, their CEO telling us, "We are disappointed to hear about SB 484 and find it to be counterproductive to our approach to homeless services. Homelessness can affect anyone, be they in urban, suburban, or rural areas." Going on in part to also say, when you limit the ability of communities to respond to the needs of their own residents, no one wins. This is not culturally competent, nor does it take into account the impact on other communities in our state. We hope that our senators understand some of these concerns as they discuss this bill.
This shit makes me physically sick to my fucking stomach. And I would love to hear any fucking Republican step up and fucking defend this evil shit. How the fuck do you assholes sleep at night? We got, at the very least, 4 more years of this fucking bullshit. Unless we do something.